welcome back to Cram Farms. We are going to do our 4th week of May. Maybe it's the 5th week of May. We're going to do our final week of May garden tour and show you how much the garden has grown this past week. We've had a ton of rain, and so not only are our plants growing like crazy, but so are the weeds. So we've got some weeding to do as well. Well, this first box here is our potato patch, and it's not going to be long before they are ready to be pulled up. You can see they're all coming into bloom here. Looking down at the base of the plant, you can see where things are starting to turn yellow. It is not going to be long before, oh look, you can see where the ducks have eaten on some of the leaves. It's not going to be long before these are going to be ready to harvest. We've been eating out of this, I'm going to call it our salad garden all week. We have been going through the lettuce, and you can see I cut this just the other day and it's already coming back. I cut some more today, but the lettuce is happily growing here. These are our beets. I'm getting ready to pull them, but I'm trying to eat some of these beet greens before I pull the roots up to eat. Cilantro, and I said just the other day it was getting ready to turn to seed. I don't know if you can see it here, but it is just getting ready to start flowering. Oh, here we go. Just getting ready to start flowering. So this is where the plant actually will develop its seeds that you can harvest and save for next year. So you won't really eat any of this. I'll eat this young cilantro down here at the bottom, but I'm gonna let this go to seed so I can collect and save the seeds for next year. Our oregano is still happy, and I'm actually getting ready to start dehydrating some of this so that I can keep it as oregano spices. We've got a little bit of kale in here. Just some more beets. A little bit of spinach left. So we've been eating on this, and I have started succession planting. So I've started planting more of this in other places in the garden so that I have it all throughout the season. Now this next bed is where we did the squash, cucumbers, some zucchini, and I want you to look right here. This is from bean beetle. So you will see this on your beans a lot of times, especially if you're not spraying them with pesticides. I was gonna look and see if I could find a bean beetle to show you. I've been coming out here, well, not in the rain, but since then I've come out, and when I've found the little bean beetles, I've been taking them. I'm gonna spray this with some neem oil to help, but it won't essentially kill the plant because there's one. Your plant's gonna keep producing. See if you can see this right here. This is a bean beetle. And they actually will like lay eggs, and their larvae and stuff will start down at the root of your plant. So I take them, you can put them in soapy dishwater to kill them. I usually just squash them. But you can spray your plant with neem oil to help. It's not gonna essentially kill your plant. It's not gonna kill your plant because your bean plant is gonna keep producing leaves. But I mean, if it ate them enough, it could destroy it. So it's not really harmful to the leaves themselves, but you don't really want them eating up all your plants. Your plant needs you need the leaves to keep making chlorophyll for your plant. So I try to take them off when I find them, but your beans will keep growing. I do have neem oil coming that I'm going to spray, and that will help too. Neem oil is a natural organic spray that you can order in like bulk and mix it with water and spray on your plants, and it's safe to do. This is a squash plant that's coming along nicely. Here is that Armenian cucumber that I thought wasn't going to make it in the frost, but it has, and it's picking up here. I had planted a replacement there. That's coming up. A little radish. Same thing, the bean beetles like my red Chinese noodle beans. And the thing is, I didn't have trouble with bean beetles last year. I don't know why I am this year. But another Armenian cucumber. My nasturtiums are getting ready to flower right here, and these flowers will be excellent in salads. Another squash plant and a big zucchini. My zucchini plants, I don't know, I did it last year too. It had these huge leaves, and they just kept getting bigger all season. So that's a zucchini. This bed is pretty much a repeat of that bed, with the exception that these are Boston pickling cucumbers that are coming up here. You'll remember that these two got hit by the frost, and so I replanted those, and they are coming up nicely. A few radishes there, marigolds in the middle, more squash and zucchini, and more beans in this bed, along with nasturtiums and a couple of cosmos down here at the end. Now this is the garlic bed that I planted last October, November, and it is almost time to harvest this garlic. If you look at it, you can see where the blades are starting to bend over, and as we go throughout the next couple of weeks, you can see they're starting to turn brown. That's how you're gonna know when your garlic is getting ready to harvest. So it's not ready yet, but it's not gonna be long before we have some fresh garlic. So down here we've got more of my, these are our dry beans that we're gonna harvest. They're coming along nicely. Again, the bean beetles like them, so we've gotta get these taken care of this week. But then, and I'm also gonna keep mulching as we clean out the rabbits. Hutches, we're going to keep mulching. You can see here, this is from rabbits. So this is squash, tomatoes. This is a cucumber, and it's going to eventually reach over here, and we'll start trellising up this cattle panel. Some basil, cucumber, tomatoes. These are zinnias. This is a lemon squash right here. You can see it's got its first blossoms, and so hopefully we will have lemon squash very, very soon right there. Pepper plant, more tomatoes. Let's look at this other cattle panel. So this is the one where I had tomatoes, and you can see I've got my first little tomato blossom here. And because I lost the stick to this, I am not sure, but I think this is going to be cherry tomatoes. So it's going to be a surprise to us, so we see what they are when they come up. Another cucumber, more pepper, another lemon squash. You can see that's starting to blossom. Cucumbers and peppers. So everything on these cattle panels is looking nice. You can see the first cucumber here that has reached across to this cattle panel and is now starting to climb the cattle panel. So over the next several weeks, that's going to do really, really well there. So this is a new area that we put in, and I think almost all of my planting is done at this point, but these are a few zucchini and squash that I put in. So you'll see that where those plants are bigger, these are smaller, but this is going to keep me in a continuous cycle of having squash and zucchini through the season by starting them at different times, and you'll just get them to continue producing. This is a spaghetti squash, and you can see I gave it lots of extra room over here because it is going to spread a lot. I had it in a raised bed last year, and it sprawled all over the place. We've got several mounds here for watermelons and a couple honeydew. We've just put the seeds in, so they're obviously not coming up yet. So this is the corn, one of the popping corns that we just planted last week. You see they're starting to come up now. We've got several coming up. And then this whole area is just several different zucchini, squash, spaghetti squash, and down here we just put in 4 more areas of corn. So this is Country Gentleman, which is more of a white shoe peg corn. So we have 4 more areas down through here of corn. So now we're where we have these 3 cattle panels, and we have here our bean TP, and you can see we have our beans that are just starting to come up, and they're going to get ready to start climbing up our TP here to make our pole bean TPs. Our marigolds at the end are looking great. Oh no, that Tamdu melon is not looking great, but this melon is looking nice. And we've got a few more beans coming up that we better get the poles stuck in the ground for. So there's a bean, and there's another one, and more marigolds. Our basil, peppers, and then this is tomatoes and basil and peppers all the way down. On this other side, we've got peppers. And I'm going to go ahead and stick probably some seeds of cucumbers in between these peppers here so they can use this panel to climb as well. And again, that will give us a continuous harvest by having them at completely different stages. By the time those are done, by the time the cucumbers in the back are finishing up, the cucumbers on the side will start, and then the cucumbers here will start producing. So just by continually planting every like 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, you'll have a continuous harvest. That way it just extends your growing season, and you can store if you're going to be pickling or if you're going to be fermenting. You'll have all of these available coming in continuously, so you can keep preserving them for next year. And then this is our last one here with tomatoes, more peppers, and basil. So this year, we're planning on storing a lot of tomato things like salsas and sauces. Canned tomatoes or diced tomatoes. You can use them in chilies and soups, and so we've got a lot of tomato plants. We actually have just a couple more to get in the ground, but we're hoping to use all that this year, so none of this is going to be going to waste. It'll keep us not depending on the grocery store and allow us to have a good stock stored up in our pantry. So here we are at our Granny Smith apple tree, and you can see more and more leaves are just constantly coming out. This is our peach tree. Look at all those leaves coming out. That's a good, our roots should be getting well established there. Our cranberry, our other peach tree. Another cranberry. And finally, our Ozark Premier plum. So you can see here we have lots of sunflowers, our cosmos, and tons of zinnias are coming up in here. The kids have been so excited to watch these start growing, and now that they are blooming, that makes them even happier. So lots of pollinators coming into our garden. Thanks so much for joining us on the homestead today. I hope you enjoyed our end of May garden tour. I can't wait to see how much everything grows next week. We're going into June now, so looking at things that love the warm weather, like your tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, and all of those things are going to be growing a lot now, and we'll start producing probably in the month of June. I would guess we're going to start getting some of our first crops of our squash and zucchini. So I can't wait for you to keep joining us. Stay tuned this week. We got more videos coming from you. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see y'all next time right here at Cram Farms.